This summer I was a member of the American Service Academies Program conducted by the Auschwitz Jewish Center Foundation. During the 2-week program, we learned about Jewish heritage and the history of the Holocaust in New York for a week, and then traveled to Poland where we visited many Jewish heritage sites to include synagogues, Jewish communities, and the sites of the Holocaust. So during the first week of New York City, we were definitely thrown right into the experiential learning aspect of the program.
We actually went into a small community in Brooklyn that was a Jewish community. We got to get assigned names of Holocaust survivors who lived there, and in groups of 2, we got to go visit them, actually go into their homes and sit down, eat lunch with them, and ask about their experiences.
At first I was like, don't put me in front of a Holocaust survivor, I don't know anything. And really that wasn't the point for me to know anything. It was for me to just listen and be there and be witness to her testimony. Her name was Toby, and she was a child survivor. She survived the Holocaust in hiding and was saved by this gentleman who actually watched over the house during the Holocaust.
And that was probably one of the most impactful days that we had in New York City.
So Poland, we began in Krakow, Poland. It's south of Warsaw. It is a historically significant city as it used to be the capital of Poland. Krakow is a cultural center, and it's quite possibly one of the most beautiful cities in Poland as it was not destroyed by the Second World War.
Then we went to the Jewish quarter of the city, where over a quarter of the population of Krakow used to live. And our tour guide showed us pictures of what the city looked like before the war, and it was vibrant and thriving. It was full of dozens of synagogues and markets and kosher grocery stores and things like that. And then we saw it after. All the synagogues are kind of crumbling, mostly just kind of museums now, just kept for remembrance, and the active Jewish community in Kazimierz, which is the name of the Jewish quarter, is only less than 150 people. They can barely have enough people in a synagogue to do a proper prayer session.
And then outside of Krakow was the concentration camp of Plaszow, which is the concentration camp where prisoners were sent to Oskar Schindler's factory. It's not very well preserved. It's mostly ruins. It kind of looks like a park. There are several memorials. There is the ruins of a Jewish burial house, which had not been destroyed.
When we went to Warsaw, we went to the Jewish Museum there, which is very extensive, and it includes not just the Holocaust, but also the history of Jews in Poland as a whole.
Visiting Auschwitz I and Auschwitz II was like the pinnacle of the trip because you got to see it. Auschwitz I and Auschwitz II are very well preserved. When I stepped onto the grounds of Auschwitz II, the scale and the scope of the camp was so unfathomable. The ground is so barren because so many people have walked over and trampled it that nothing will grow. And I'm looking there, and as far as you can see are ruins of these barracks, and in the woods you can see these brick buildings, the gas chambers. We walked around the grounds of Auschwitz II for 3 hours. And we still didn't see everything. We still didn't know every single story.
It wasn't just a chapter in a history book. It was the worst thing that humans have ever done to each other in all of history. I think it's important to just try to walk in their shoes, at least just a little bit. And in that way, I think that helps respect what they went through and make sure that it's not forgotten.